Alright everyone, welcome to another casted game here. Well, not really a casted game, this is another special game replay, I should say. Just offering some commentary on one of my own games here. The second one of a couple that I just really wanted to share because I was so excited about just what happened. This one, a little bit different, where the map is Nagari, I think it is. Yeah, Nagari, and Asian temperate biome. So lots of forests, lots of stout forests on this one, and some mountain ranges to add an extra element to the game. And I'm gonna hide the resource tracker, and I'm gonna do a fast forward here for a little bit, as this was a little bit of a long one, and there were a lot of dull moments at the beginning. But just gonna kind of walk you guys through some of the early moves here. I did triple scout. And I'm pretty sure I actually got a fourth scout, if I'm not mistaken, at some point here in a moment. But you know, I had the triple scout opening, and immediately scouted out the map within 3 minutes. Meanwhile, the opponent had only barely started to scout at that point in the game. But you know, really awesome map awareness there. Getting lots of sheep from the map, gobbling up the food sources, and you know, the Rust is not a civilization I've played too much, but just wanted to try something new. You know, using those hunting cabins to gather up berries and sheep, and then also to get gold from the forest here while chopping it down, a gold mine and a stone mine, just to have as many resources in the bank as possible. Going for a very late Age 2 transition with the Golden Gate here to get resource trading. And there's that 4 scout coming through. And, you know, at this point in the game, the enemy begins to build a tower and some walls and barracks, and just getting a forward operating base here on my line. And definitely starts getting interesting here as the combat begins, and you know, getting the stage set for some real fighting. I'd thought about going professional scouts to start gathering up some of those deer, but that actually never materialized, as I was busy killing wolves, and then with the pressure coming in here on the western flank of my base. So the enemy had some royal knights and some cavalry horsemen just all ready to go, and immediately took out the stone income and then the gold and forced me off those resources. Killed a couple enemy units and just kind of kept staying in it. And this is where I started the tower construction. Getting those wooden fortresses built, getting the arrow emplacements and the extra bonuses for more damage and more line of sight. Moving the sheep behind my town center to gather safely away from these royal knights that had forced my villagers off of it. And as you can see, the enemy had constructed excuse me, a stone wall tower on this wall that they had built right inside of my base, and there's villagers sieging it down while the towers are just sniping each other off. Just a total standoff going on here, where you know, they've got a wall here and I've got a wall of towers, and no one's really fully able to commit to an assault. You know, as the enemy moves in but then retreats right away, has to save the royal knights with the healing bonus that they get. I think it's chivalry or royal bloodlines or something like that. But the stone wall tower goes down. Yeah, these wooden fortresses just keep focusing on those knights and killing them off. So at this point, I'm gonna go to 4x speed, and I'm gonna leave it there for a good while here to kind of walk you guys through some other decisions in the game here. My scouts going off more wolves, getting more of that bounty. Very much behind at this point, though. You know, a lot of Rust players like to be at 500 already. I was just behind, or just very far behind, only at 160 at this point. But neither player yet in the me nor my enemy into castle yet, but we're getting there. More towers coming up, just defensive positions galore. those villagers just gathering up the rest of those sheep there, safely behind the town center. Tons of gold income, getting ready for a castle transition. And what you'll start to see here in a moment is the High Trade House under construction. There's also wooden walls going up here as I'm kind of shifting my base, what would be eastward for me. Just kind of getting away from the enemy line here. They've got the walls and the towers. Didn't really have an army to deal with that yet, so just wanted to get away from their Hulk as well. The ship that was just causing extra damage on buildings and more headaches, so just trying to move away from that. Meanwhile, the towers just focus down the enemy position and keep them busy. Yeah, villagers quickly constructing walls here, given a good defensive position, and the High Trade House gets finished. Villagers begin gathering deer, getting extra bounty, and just, more berry bushes out here with the hunting cabins and the gold income. Just trying to really stabilize that economy after that initial rush really put the hurt on me. Getting blacksmiths, more walls, more houses, just kind of setting myself up to get upgrades, not get housed in population limits, and just make good use of the resources available, if you will. I think at one point I had 4 blacksmiths here, 4 total. Tried to get a few barracks on the field, but couldn't get those up. Just upgrades galore, one after the other, all that gold income. And then that's where the ram rush came through here. They charged with 3 rams at once, easily knocking down those towers that had no sprinkled emplacements. So, and at this point, the villagers I have are also constructing mass stables, getting 7 out of the field, and beginning to train an army of knights and horsemen, and really just getting ready for actually engaging in combat with the enemy. Continuing to get upgrades at the blacksmiths, upgrading my army as much as I could. Rams do kill those off pretty quickly, so I have to stop upgrading here at that point. And then the rams actually come through to attack the stables. My cavalry easily kill them down, or their army can come in to support. And then I move my cavalry back behind my line, where they can safely wait for the next phase of this game. I let the stables go down. Losing all that wood does hurt, but having steady wood production here near my High Trade House, figured, okay, I'll sacrifice the wood on the stables and keep my units, since my food supply was very much stunted. After losing the town center, having no villagers coming through. Keep in mind that town center has been down for about 5, maybe 10 minutes here. And not having a town center, no new villagers. Granted, having 56 is a bunch, but that's a tough spot to be. You do not want to be at 0 town centers. Very tough spot. Enemy continuing to blow up the stables, building a red palace inside of my original base to prevent that town center from being reconstructed right away. Rams destroying some walls. Lumber mills getting focused on. Red palace almost constructed. They're getting after it. And the walls here begin to be attacked, where the enemy raids it, sets it on fire, blows it up. They now have an inn to attack the High Trade House. That definitely comes in handy. They move eastward to assemble a forward position here next to the lake, getting ready as they wait for some siege units to show up here. So just kind of maneuvering, staying on standby and at the ready for whatever would come their way. Meanwhile, I'm diversifying my army with man-at-arms, spears, crossbows, archers, a couple scouts, getting as diverse and mixed of an army as I can to deal with the various types of units that they would throw at me, between the knights, the trebuchets, the archers, the spears, you name it. Just trying to get ready for an assault. Meanwhile, getting more blacksmiths constructed to continue getting upgrades onto the field. Needed the extra health for cavalry and extra melee armor, all that stuff would really come in handy. And then this is where another play comes in. They've got a ram coming forward to deal with the gate, and they've got the trebuchet ready to focus on the high trade house. Now I see this happening, and see them moving, and I begin to assemble my army. Initially I'm moving them out of the way, and then decide, okay, you know what? I think I can take them. We're going to risk it. We're going to tackle this. We're going to charge in with the full force. So, maneuver around these extra houses that are built. Kill the ram. Kill the knight. And now the enemy here is going around the walls, trying to get some destruction on that palisade. And I maneuver my army around the east side of the walls here. Charge down, kill off the other ram. The enemy is moving behind their trebuchet, looking to protect it, and then I flank them. My cavalry go on the east, and the spears go on the west, and go after the cavalry there, easily killing them off with the spears, and then my own cavalry to the south of their army is killing the archers and the horsemen. So that was a really successful push, where my army here managed to engage them in just the right way. That it actually worked. A pretty evenly matched force, and I emerged from that with almost my entire army still intact. So that was crazy. That was fun. And, then it's just kind of another dull moment in the game. We're getting things constructed, getting universities built, start getting more upgrades for units and buildings, extra damage for archers and stuff like that. Got stables, archery ranges, barracks, just trying to keep the units coming. Still no town center. I had not enough stone. Started to realize, okay, I gotta get some extra resources here. Got some monasteries up so I could steal a couple relics that were here inside my base and here next to my production buildings. So, getting a couple cavalry, the warrior monks on the field to steal those relics. Immediately transitioned to stone, gathering lots of wood. And at this point, now that I finally have the resources, I hella stutter right now. But I decide, that I will start building not only walls, thanks to having the Spasskaya Tower that was built in the corner, bringing me into Age 4 to match my enemy, but now I'm also going to start getting town centers onto the field. So a lot of these villagers here on the wood will transition to getting 2 town centers constructed in the north of my base here near the monasteries and near that trade post. I think it's at about 42 minutes that they start building the town centers. Should have started building way sooner. Meanwhile the army's here re-engaging and doing another flank, while the cavalry are busy dealing with the enemy swordsmen and horsemen. My unit's coming here in the back with the archers, giving support. Just a little support under the desk, all that good stuff. And going after the rams. The enemy had advanced with, I think, 7 rams there. Just invested heavily into siege. And a lot of wood getting lost as those are being killed off. My brain's just working at a mile a minute here, but anyway, the town centers do get built. Go for a triple town center, and at this point as well, the the enemy's got the Red Palace. They've got extra walls. They've got more military units coming in here, kind of on standby, ready to keep assaulting that west side of the base. But already got siege workshops on the field and begin training trebuchets. to start doing a counter push. The enemy's got a forward position here with their guild hall. They've got walls, cannons, mangonels with the catapults. They've got a very fortified position here that would need to be broken through. And at the same time, they're assaulting my walls with cannons, and my villagers will start building it back, and then the cannons will blow it up. And then I'll immediately have them rebuild the wall, and then the cannon destroys it. Just keeping them busy and distracted. All the upgrades come through in the blacksmith, and at this point I'm ready for my counter push. So, the trebuchets are moving into position, the army is ready, keeping the enemy busy on that eastern flank with the walls. And, you know, just real quick, I love the fact that the Rust now have access to stone walls. These just look so cool. I love the design of that. Square walls, the gatehouse looks awesome. I'm a big fan. So the trebuchets come through, and they blow up the enemy's red palace here. They focus on that, destroy it. My cavalry deal with the enemy's force here. And the trebuchets, as these enemy villagers try to rebuild the red palace, I destroy it again. Destroy the towers, focus on the walls, blow them up, and just do a successful counter push here to keep the enemy at bay. You know, meanwhile, they're moving cannons into my own base, using cavalry that I've trained, spearmen, to deal with those siege units as they're trying to make a last-ditch attempt on my base here. And it works. Killing down the siege units. And at this point, you know, I've got my army ready on the west to push back. Their siege has been killed off on the eastern flank, and I'm ready for the next phase of this battle. And at this point, you know, looking at my enemy's perspective, you know, they can see that their units have been lost, and they do call good game. They say, you know what, I don't think I can do this here. You know, it could be that they were getting bored with the endless back and forth, or could be they figured, okay, you know, this person's got the upper hand now, but nonetheless, that's good game there. And, you know, again, well played by my opponents. I really thought I was going to lose that one. I was getting hammered pretty hard, not having a town center for almost the whole game, but found a way to make it work, and I was really amused and just having a lot of fun with that one. So, thank you for watching, and, you know, would love to hear your guys' thoughts on how that game went, and things that you maybe would have done differently, things you thought were good strategies, things you just thought were funny or interesting or cool, or things you've never seen before, or things you've seen a lot of. You know, just let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.